Welcome to Beyond the Pages. I'm your host, Arlene Reyes from Donnelly.media. In this podcast, we go beyond the headlines, diving deep into the stories that matter with our team of journalists. Stay with us as we uncover the details, insights, and untold perspectives behind the news.
Donnelly.media presents Beyond the Pages. Captain Tree Service sponsors today's episode. When a disaster happens, call the captain. 856-796-3536.
Welcome to Beyond the Pages. I'm your host, Arlene Reyes, and I am sitting here today with Pip Haxby-Thompson from JFKLiving. He is the team there. They are brokered by Real Estate. Welcome, Pip. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, Arlene. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
I love how you say your last name, Reyes.
I know,
Yeah. The rolling R. It's just so beautiful.
Sometimes I cut it out, and I'm like, why do I do that?
Why? Exactly. Embrace it.
Reyes,
I love it.
Yeah. Reyes actually means kings in Spanish.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I love that.
So, Pip, we've known each other for several years.
We have. I think we've known each other for, 7, 8 years
Something
now?
like that. Yeah. Wow. Time goes by
It
fast.
really does.
And you have been an advertiser of Donnelly.media in different ways, in different formats. Part of the latest marketing campaign that you did with us is our expert contributor. So you are our expert in real estate. And we experts for 08108. We really appreciate it. And we love what you send to us, the content that you provide as useful information. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, I run the JFKLiving team with my husband, Jeremiah. We got into real estate back in, when was it now? 2018. We always knew from the get-go we wanted to run a real estate team. So it was the two of us. Over a few months, Jeremiah's sister Mel joined the team, and then Justin McGinley when we were at Wycott Realtors way back when, back in Haddonfield. None of us knew what we were doing. We were all fresh-eyed faces within the world of real estate, but we sort of dove into things. We did a lot of Tom Ferry coaching. And over the years, we expanded the team. I think at the height, we had maybe 26 agents on the team. Wow. Now we have several staff members. We've changed brokerages a few times, and now we landed in Haddon Township. We moved and created an office there in 2020. And now we are the number one large team in South Jersey.
Wow.
So, this year, I think we'll sell around about 250 homes for, I don't know, 120 million, something like that. So
that's great.
It's been quite the journey.
Yeah. I mean, 2018 sounds close, but also far away. But also you've come such a long way and the growth has been so expansive. Part of, I think that, and I'm not sure if you feel this way, but I have found unique is in the way that you do your marketing as far as, even in social media.
Right.
So there are some things that, especially in this area, that other realtors I have not seen do, and you take a different approach to that. What is the thought process behind that? And then how do you continue that trend?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So we've always kind of been a bit out there with our social media presence. So you can follow us on Instagram, JFKLiving. And we brought our marketing manager on, Steph, back in 2020, and she was really pivotal in how we approached our social media. But we very heavily relied on local business content, so helping promote other local business people in the area. That was from the very get-go.
Right.
We also wanted to do these sort of wild and wacky listing videos, which have always been hugely entertaining and really engaging. And then we've been very out there in terms of the fact that we are an LGBTQ run team. We help host Haddon Township Pride. And we're very vocal about putting that out there as well.
Right.
Part of the reason is, within 08108 specifically, there is a very big LGBTQ population in the area. So we wanted to lean on that and help support the people in the community and our clients. This year alone, probably about 25% of my business are LGBTQ clients.
Wow.
But yeah, the premise of it is you really want to get seen on social media. So you have to create engaging content.
Right.
And that's really leaning into like, where do your strengths lie? And it turns out that I'm a complete clown. And I am very comfortable just leaning into these sort of funny videos that we've created online, and
Right.
people love it. And we get eyes on it. Now I have an assistant, Sarah, who comes from a theater background, who also loves helping create these funny videos with me. So, we're making a good pair.
Well, I think not being camera shy is also helpful, because
Yeah,
I
and
think that
listen,
some people feel awkward making.
and I wasn't born camera shy. I
Right.
mean, initially back in 2018, you put a camera in front of me and I'm tripping over words, and it was the early days of the videos were tough and were challenging. It's just through repetition
Right.
and putting out, video content. And to your point, how do you continue that going forward? What we're looking into now is, how can we utilize some AI to help us continue to expand the content that we're doing whilst not killing ourselves doing it?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the mixture of AI and how to keep things still real,
Correct. Yeah.
but also helping you complete more tasks
Yes.
in a more efficient way.
Yeah.
I think that is something that we're all trying to
We're
balance
all trying to
out.
figure out at the moment. And I know there's this sort of trend like I'm seeing it with my peers at Real, where some people are utilizing their AI avatars to create real estate video content on sort of local business news, for example.
Okay.
And I've just started to explore that. So I've actually cloned my voice already.
Oh,
And I tell you, it's
is it spot on?
scarily accurate. It's probably about 95% there. If you really know me,
Right.
you're like, okay, I can kind of just tell. But to the untrained person or someone who knows me on a more casual basis, I don't think you could tell the difference between the fake voice and my real voice. Now, I did also an AI video avatar of me. That one, okay, that's not quite so good. That's probably about like 75%, 80% there.
Right.
It's definitely a little robotic. But what's interesting is, like, as we move forward into this progression of AI, it's only ever going to keep getting better and better.
Right.
And eventually we'll be able to sort of replicate some of those. I don't necessarily want to use it on social media, let's say, but let's say we bring in an agent to the team and we want to produce a lot of training videos for them.
Right.
That would be a perfect opportunity, because I don't have time to sit down and record all of these trainings. But if I have an AI avatar to do it for me,
Right.
well, that's great. So where can we utilize it within our business?
I feel like that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Because part of bringing on new staff, you constantly want to, but then when you're in a smaller business, because Donnelly.media is a family-owned business.
Right.
So we're small, and many of us are wearing multiple hats.
Yes.
So doing
And don't
something
you
like
find that that's the most painful point when you're bringing in someone new
Yes.
to the business? You're like, oh my God, I've got to go through all the things that we
like
do.
they schedule out days of
Yes.
systems,
Right.
policies, some other whatever they need, and so that sounds amazing.
So anyway, that's the future. That's what we're kind of exploring right now, is how we can utilize a bit more of these sort of AI tools, not just ChatGPT. I think everyone's using ChatGPT now, but all these other tools as well, moving forward.
Yeah, that sounds great. Something in the early days, and we connected, was when we started the 08108 magazine. You did a takeover day with our page and had such a huge pull. But I think at that time you were starting to focus on what you had mentioned, the local businesses.
Yes.
How do you feel that intertwines into, I'm an agent in this town?
So I think there's almost like a duty of care as a real estate agent. If you are selling homes, you're helping people make a move to an area, you also want to be able to support the community as best you can. There are many agents out there that choose philanthropic work, which we also do. But particularly in our early days, we just didn't have the resources to do a lot of philanthropic work. So how can you give back to the community in a meaningful way and engage with the community? And I think by highlighting local business owners and networking with the people within those businesses, not only are you giving back to those business owners by producing content that highlights and exposes them, you're also engaging with more people within the community, and that will then turn into more referrals in the future as well.
Right.
So, you know, it's not the key premise of doing it. You've really got to want to do it. And I know that there's some other great agents in the area who do a really good job at creating social media content as a way of highlighting these sort of local businesses. But yeah, we've always seen it as an integral part of our business right from day one.
I mean, for us in the publications that we have, it's really what we do. We focus on people in the community, but also businesses as well.
Yes.
So just to kind of highlight and give a little more history of it. But I think that more various industries are now pulling into that same type of storytelling and using it as part of, you know, their brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And things evolve over the years as well. I mean, I think when we first started doing the social media videos, it was, well, firstly, it was me doing all the recording and editing using iMovie and posting on Facebook. And then over time, we sort of migrated. We still use Facebook. We migrated more into Instagram.
Right.
And as I said, Steph, our marketing manager, she's phenomenal and does all our editing, and things sort of move into more of this sort of storytelling and weaving the thread and narrative of client experience and, you know, what is going on in the town simultaneously.
Yeah. As we're into 2026, what are some...
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What are some tips that maybe you can give to some of our listeners / readers, that maybe some that already follow your articles in the magazine, or maybe some that aren't familiar with you and maybe just learning about you now? What are some things that we could expect maybe that you're finding trend?
Last year, 2025, was a challenging year for many people working within the realms of real estate. And the reason being, you know, we've seen this trend of home prices just continuing to increase and increase and increase. In 23, 24, we saw interest rates spike around about 8%. And of course, back in pandemic times, interest rates went to an all-time low, you know, down into like, you know, 3%. So there's a lot of people who've been sort of trapped in their home. They either refinance or they got a low interest rate and they're sort of stuck in this. Well, I'm here in this home and my current mortgage payment is X amount, which is actually super affordable. If I were to make a move, then our mortgage payment is going to go up quite significantly. And what is happening is there are people will make a move if they need to make a move, but people won't necessarily make a move just because they want to make a move.
Right.
But the challenge that people have is, well, how can I afford it? Well, first off, utilizing the equity that you have in your current, if you are a homeowner and you're looking to make a move, you can utilize your equity to make a move. It's still challenging in the Northeast to get what we call contingent offers accepted. So that would be, I want to buy a house, but I need to sell my house in order to buy this one. They are not often accepted. Very occasionally, we're kind of seeing a slight increase in that, but more often than not, there's still plenty of buyers out there who are like, I'm first-time home buyer. I've got 20% down. Like, and as a home seller, you're like, well, I'm going to pick the safe option over here.
Right.
So how can we, as a homeowner, put in a non-contingent offer, but sort of mitigate the risk of essentially carrying two homes at once? So there are equity unlock programs out there where you can tap into the equity of your home, release it, help you put down a large down payment on your future home. And the more money that you put down on that current home, you can keep that mortgage payment low.
Right.
There are some other options as well, where you can do a sort of what they call a buy before you sell program, where somebody will essentially give you a cash offer on your home, which wipes out that mortgage, and then you can put in a non-contingent offer on that home.
Okay.
Or what I've seen some other clients do is recast their mortgage. So they're in a position where they can actually buy their next home outright. Great for them. Love you.
Yeah.
Come and work with me. Thanks.
Yeah.
And then they take their time to sell this home. They get it ready for market. They do a refresh of paint. They do all the thing. They get it staged to help maximize what they can sell it for. But then they take a big chunk of that and they put it towards their future or their next mortgage payment. It's called recasting a mortgage. And if you have a conventional loan product, you can actually do that.
Oh, okay.
So there's all these different avenues that people can take when they're trying to make a move from their current home to their next home that I think a lot of people are just really unaware of. And that's where it's really important to speak to someone who knows about those programs and trying to figure out what the best course of action is.
Right. Yeah, because those are things that I had never heard of.
Right.
And so, I'm glad that we stayed where we stayed because we ended up meeting this space. But at that time it was just kind of like, how do you do that? And am I paying more for a smaller space?
Yeah. And then some people are just hanging on to their current home and renting it out. That's what we did. We made a move from Riverside down to Haddon Township in 23. We had a very small starter home. Our mortgage payment was low. What we did, we took out a HELOC that we could use for down payment on our current home. And between our mortgage payment and our HELOC, we found a tenant who more than covers that and gives us another like $500 or $600 a month in our pocket.
Right.
Okay, great. And then we can just continue to pay off our mortgage and the HELOC on that home, build equity within the home. So then it becomes an investment over time. Right. And that's another conversation that I have with people. I'm not always about the sale.
Right.
If it makes sense for you to hang on to your real estate, 1000% hang on to it. But if you're in a position where either you don't want to be a landlord, and there's plenty of people who don't, they're like, that sounds awful.
Right.
Or you do really need the funds within this home to help facilitate a move. Okay, great. Well, then we'll sell.
Right. What kind of advice would you give to first-time buyers where I feel like they may get it may be harder for them at this time, considering if people that currently have homes have all these options for them?
Yeah. Well, conversely, I actually think it's sometimes easier for first-time home buyers than it is for current homeowners because they don't have that home sale contingency in place if they do need to, if someone does need to sell their home. I work with plenty of first-time home buyers. I would focus on a couple things. I think it is important to make sure you have a decent amount of savings. Now, you don't need 20% down. Conventional loan products start as low as 5% down payment. In some cases, you may be able to get a 3% down payment. If your income requirements are not quite high enough, or you have maybe a bit more revolving debt, credit card payments, things like that, or your credit score is not quite as high, you can access an FHA program, 3.5% down. But you still need to have that.
Right.
However, there are a few first-time homebuyer programs that the state of New Jersey runs, where you can get a $10,000. They call it a grant. It's technically a loan, but it is after 5 years in the property, you don't have to pay it back. So you get $10,000 towards your down payment assistance. You can as well, if you are a first-generation home buyer, meaning that your parents haven't owned a home within the last 3 years, access an additional $7,000 as well. So there are a couple of programs if you don't have the savings that you can access to help you get into a home. Another thing would be if you see a home, maybe it's been sat on the market a while, you could come in with a fair price to the seller, but ask for seller concessions, meaning it's essentially a credit back, cash in your pocket to help go towards your closing costs and down payment. So again, there's kind of different things that we can do to circumnavigate having to have, a bundle of cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing that I'm recommending people to do as well is, don't get so focused if you're a first time home buyer of being in the I want my dream home now.
Right.
Because there are so many people that I talk to and they're like, yes, I want to be in Collingswood. I want to be in the 08108 zip code and I want the walkability to downtown. And I want to be close to the Patco line.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's great. And what's your budget? Well, probably about 400 to 450,000.
Right.
I'm like, well, and I want a single family home and I want all this and I want all that. Well, that's going to be a real challenge.
Right.
Twin homes in Collingswood at the moment are around that sort of high threes into even mid 400s right now. So if you're wanting a single family home,
right,
you're going to have to look outside of those areas.
Or compromise.
Or compromise. Yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be some compromise somewhere, but you've got to figure out what you want to compromise on.
Right.
I think personally, it's great to get yourself into a starter home that can work for you right now and a mortgage payment that you can afford right now. And you use that as a stepping stone to get you to where you want to be.
Right.
I think there's so many people that they're like, well, I just want to be in my dream home forever. And, they're like 28. I'm like, okay, just
right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't buy my first home until I was, 30. How old was I? 34, 35. And it was a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 600 square foot home in Riverside, New Jersey. Great little community, very blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really engage with the town very much. We always came down to Collingswood, which was like a half an hour away. And this is where we sort of worked and we built our business. But it was great.
Mm-hmm.
We made it work.
Yeah.
And so I always tell that to people. And now, when we finally were in a position to move down to Haddon Township and move into our forever home, we're able to kind of keep that first home as an investment as well.
Right.
So I just want people to kind of like expand their reach a little bit and figure out like what are the negotiables and what are the non-negotiables when you're looking for a home.
Right. I mean, so I watch way too much House Hunters. And I don't know why. And there's nothing
totally fake.
I figure. But also you see them when they're like, I don't want to compromise on this. And I'm thinking, there's no way you're just gonna straight out the bat, unless you have plenty of cash, going to get that perfect where everything is exactly the same, the way that you want it.
There's always compromise. There is always compromise. Regardless, I don't think I've ever sold a home in the history of me selling homes where everyone is like, this checks every single one of everything from top to bottom. Either they need to change the decor on the interior, or there's one less garage than they wanted, or there's something about the look like it's not quite where they need to, there's always compromise. You've just got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Another thing as well, I forgot to mention about if you are a first-time home buyer, you can also get a gift as well. So if you have parents who are in a financially stable situation, they can gift you a chunk of change to help you put towards, a down payment on a property as well. And I'm actually seeing that happen more and more, where we've got parents who've got a house, maybe they've already paid off their mortgage, or they're close to paying off their mortgage, and they'll actually draw on the equity and then give it, give it to their kid to help them. Because ultimately, inheritance is great at some point, but why not help people utilize it now to kind of get them onto the ladder?
That is exactly right. And I think speaking of inheritance, it can get, unless certain things are in line, that can get a little messy as far as, having to sell a parent's home and that whole process.
That can be, when you kind of get to the estate sale and the, the taxes that you will be liable for and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, always speak to a good tax advisor. I'm not giving tax advice out.
No, but if you're a parent that wants to, at some point, help your child, then I see your point. You might as well, if you're able to do it,
if you're
while
in a
you're-
position to do it now, I think it's much more beneficial to do that,
and
rather
probably
than
an
just
easier process then.
and a much easier process. Correct.
Yeah. Than leaving the house to someone.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else that, trends that you see coming?
Okay. Well,
Which is always hard.
we've spoken about, sort of AI trends
Mhm.
within the social media aspects of real estate, and maybe, some of the back end stuff. I've been looking closely at what is happening within the US as a whole. There are definitely some markets that have slowed down. And we've even seen some price reductions, notably places like Phoenix in Arizona, Texas, Florida, a lot of second home markets where we've seen this sort of trajectory of, downward home sales, home prices. Do I think that's going to happen in the Northeast? I'm not entirely sure. Now, towards the end of 25, we kind of started to see days on market extending out. We've seen more price reductions on current active listings than we've seen in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not convinced we're going to see house prices go down. I just don't think we're going to see the rapid rate of appreciation that we have seen in a lot of communities. When we look back to, 2019, 2020 and onwards, prices went up anywhere from 10 to 15 to a couple of years, 20% year over year, that's entirely unsustainable.
Right.
What we would love to see is a more gentle appreciation of maybe around about 3 or 4% year over year. And I think that's actually what we're going back to. I would also love to see more contingent offers get accepted on homes as well. And I think if we're entering into a market where properties are sitting on the market a little longer, we're not getting into these sort of insane bidding wars, we're more likely to get contingent offers accepted again. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't exactly know how this year's going to, pan out. If we end up in a situation where interest rates continue on a downward trajectory, we could potentially see an increase in activity and, crazy bidding wars coming back.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Ask me next year.
Yeah. I'll see at the end of 2026.
Yeah.
So Pip, how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah. So best way is really through social media, JFK Living, on Instagram or Facebook. You can also go to our website, which is jfkliving.com. Find out all about our team, how we work, and there is a form you can fill in, and I'll reach out to you personally.
All right. That's great. Thank you so much. And then you could always read Pip's expert contributor article in the 0108.
I do like a little
magazine.
Spicy article in there from time to time.
Yeah, the last one. And then you can always see his articles on lifestyle.media. Thank you, Pip.
Thank you, Arlene.
That's a wrap for this episode of Beyond the Pages. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep reading between the lines.